In previous episodes of Season 10 Bookish Mind, we covered all chapters of Deep Work by Cal Newport, exploring the nuanced strategies for cultivating focused concentration. Today, for episode .09, we present a special bonus wrap-up,
That's right.
offering a comprehensive summary of the entire book and inviting you, our listener, to discover why a deep life is truly the best kind there is. Our mission in this deep dive is to distill the absolute essence of Cal Newport's deep work into a concise yet comprehensive overview. Think of it as your express ticket, kind of, to understanding why focused work is more crucial than ever in our distracted world.
Absolutely.
And crucially, how you can actually start doing it today.
Well, what's truly fascinating about Newport's argument, I think, is how he frames deep work. It's not just some trendy productivity hack, right?
No, not at all.
He sees it as a fundamental human need, something that leads to a richer, more meaningful existence. It really makes you wonder, though, in a world of constant pings and notifications, how can we possibly reclaim our most valuable resource, our attention?
That's the core question, isn't it? And to get to the heart of that, we first need to understand Newport's core definitions. He clearly distinguishes between deep work and shallow work.
Right.
Deep work, he explains, refers to those professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that genuinely push your cognitive capabilities to their limit.
Yeah, the really hard stuff.
Exactly. These are the efforts that create real new value, significantly improve your skills, and are genuinely hard for anyone else to replicate. Think about, breakthrough problem solving or crafting a truly innovative strategy.
Okay. And shallow work.
On the flip side, shallow work encompasses those non-cognitively demanding logistical tasks, often performed while distracted. These tasks tend not to create much new value, and let's be honest, they're pretty easy for anyone to replicate. They often just feel like busy work.
Right, checking email constantly, scheduling meetings, that kind of thing. And stepping back for a moment, it's clear this isn't just a modern phenomenon. Newport highlights how influential figures throughout history intuitively embraced deep work long before we had a name for it.
Like who?
Well, think of Carl Jung, who built his Bollingen Hour as a personal retreat, not to escape work, but to enable his deepest, most demanding intellectual efforts. Or Michel de Montaigne retreating to his private library. Mark Twain, writing much of Tom Sawyer in a shed so isolated his family had to literally blow a horn to call him for meals.
Wow, really? Oh, horn.
Yeah, and even more recently, Woody Allen, renowned for his incredible artistic output, used a manual typewriter for decades, purposefully avoiding any electronic distractions. Their wisdom just screams, focus matters.
It's such a stark contrast to today, isn't it? It's almost shocking.
It really is.
Modern knowledge workers are rapidly losing this ability to go deep, largely thanks to the constant pull of network tools, email, social media, endless infotainment sites.
All that noise.
Exactly. A 2012 McKinsey study even found that the average knowledge worker spends over 60% of their work week on electronic communication and internet searching.
60%.
Yeah, and almost 30% of that just on email. It's this never-ending state of fragmented attention. Nicholas Carr, in his book The Shallows, even described having to move to a cabin and disconnect entirely to write, because the internet was quite literally chipping away his capacity for concentration.
And that's not just a feeling of being scattered, right? Spending enough time bouncing between tasks actually diminishes your brain's capacity for deep work. Your mind gets rewired to crave constant novelty, external stimulation.
So it gets harder to focus even when you want to.
Exactly. It makes it harder to sustain focus even when you truly try. That attention residue Newport talks about, it isn't just about feeling a little scattered. It's like a silent tax on our cognitive bandwidth. It makes us feel busy without truly advancing meaningful work.
An invisible killer of high-quality output.
Precisely. Even when you think you're just checking that one quick email.
So, okay, why is deep work so incredibly valuable in today's economy then? Newport argues it's crucial because of what economists Eric Brynjolfsson and Andrew McAfee call the Great Restructuring.
Ah, yes, race against the machine.
Right. They highlight three groups that truly thrive in our technology-driven labor market. First, we have high-skilled workers who can effectively collaborate with intelligent machines. Think Nate Silver, mastering complex statistical systems, large databases.
Okay, people who work with the tech.
Exactly. Second, there are the superstars, those who are the absolute best at what they do and can be accessed globally, like David Heinemeier Hansson, the creator of Ruby on Rails.
The best of the best, basically.
And third, the owners, those with the capital to invest in these new technologies, like venture capitalist John Doerr. The core takeaway here is that deep work is absolutely essential for quickly learning difficult skills and producing at an elite level.
Which makes sense if you want to be in those first two groups.
Totally.
Yeah.
Take Jason Ben, for instance. He realized his financial consulting job was vulnerable to automation, so he quit and decided to learn computer programming from scratch.
Wow, okay.
He locked himself in a room for 2 months with just textbooks, reading 18 books, rigorously training his focus. He then excelled in a notoriously difficult dev bootcamp, completely transforming his income from like $40,000 a year to $100,000 as a developer.
That's incredible, just pure focus.
Pure focus. Or consider Adam Grant, the youngest full professor at Wharton. He published an absurd number of articles and a bestseller by strategically maximizing the intensity of his focus.
So, despite its undeniable value, deep work is incredibly rare. Why is that?
Well, that's the puzzle, isn't it?
And the reason why, when you zoom out, is that many modern business trends actively hinder depth. We see it everywhere. The widespread adoption of open offices, like Facebook's massive 10-acre floor plan or Square's common workspaces.
Often praised for serendipity, ironically.
Exactly, which usually means interruptions. Then there's the rise of instant messaging, with companies like IBM sending millions of IMs daily, creating this expectation of immediate response.
Right, that pressure to be always on.
And of course, the pervasive pressure for content producers to maintain a constant social media presence. George Packer, a respected New Yorker staff writer, famously called Twitter crack for media addicts. He admitted he avoided it because he feared letting his son go hungry due to the distraction.
That's intense. It shows how serious the pull is.
This isn't just outlier behavior. It's becoming the new distracted normal.
And it creates what Newport calls a metric black hole. It's incredibly difficult to quantify the true cost of shallow work or the hidden value of deep work.
How do you measure the cost of not having a breakthrough idea?
Exactly. Tom Cochran, the CTO of Atlantic Media, once calculated that his company was spending over $1 million a year just on processing emails, something everyone considers free and frictionless.
Yeah.
He called their soft costs equivalent to procuring a small company Learjet. But proving that direct connection to the bottom line, that's often elusive.
And this ambiguity, combined with what Newport terms the principle of least resistance, explains so much.
What's that?
In the absence of clear, measurable feedback on how different behaviors impact the bottom line, people naturally default to what's easiest in the moment.
Oh, okay.
It's easier to respond to an email immediately, to attend endless meetings that serve as a kind of blunt form of organization, or to stay constantly connected even if it fragments attention and reduces valuable output.
That makes sense. The path of least resistance.
Yeah. Leslie Perlow's study at the Boston Consulting Group brilliantly illustrated this. When teams were forced to disconnect 1 day a week, they didn't lose clients. In fact, they found more enjoyment and better communication. It proved constant connectivity wasn't as necessary as they thought.
And underlying all this, Newport argues, is what he calls the cult of the internet, or technopoly. This pervasive, often unconscious assumption that anything internet-related is inherently good, necessary, or simply unavoidable.
Like that example he uses.
The refrigerated logistics truck, a highly traditional industry sporting a "like us on Facebook" sticker. You realize how deeply ingrained this mindset has become. Deep work, with its emphasis on quality, craftsmanship, and mastery, is at a severe disadvantage because it often requires intentionally rejecting much of what is new, loud, and high-tech.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Deep work is not just economically valuable and rare, it's profoundly meaningful.
The meaning part. This is crucial.
Newport makes 3 powerful arguments for this. First, a neurological argument. He talks about Winifred Gallagher, who, after a cancer diagnosis, intentionally focused intensely on pleasant things. She realized, as she put it, who you are is the sum of what you focus on.
So deep concentration actually shapes your reality.
Pretty much. It hijacks your attention, preventing it from dwelling on unpleasant or anxious thoughts. Those minor, annoying emails that constantly pop into your inbox. They're subtly leaching meaning from your mind by capturing attention that could be used for something far more fulfilling.
That's a powerful idea. Then there's the psychological argument, right? Based on flow state.
Exactly. Drawing heavily from Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi's pioneering research on flow. Flow is that completely immersive state where you're so engrossed in an activity that you literally lose track of time.
We've all felt that, hopefully.
Right. Deep work, by its very nature, creates these flow experiences. And flow, as Csikszentmihalyi famously found, generates genuine happiness. Building your working life around these flow experiences is a proven path to deep, sustained satisfaction.
So it makes work more enjoyable, fundamentally.
And finally, a powerful philosophical argument drawn from Dreyfus and Kelly. They suggest that true craftsmanship provides a path to what they call sacredness and meaning. Think of Rick Furr, the blacksmith painstakingly recreating ancient metalworking techniques. He finds profound meaning in his deep, focused work.
Where precision is everything.
Yes, where even a small slip can ruin hours of effort. But this isn't limited to manual trades. The idea is that we who cut mere stones must always be envisioning cathedrals.
I love that quote.
Whether you're a programmer, a writer, a consultant, or even, doing this deep dive right now, your work is a craft. If you hone your ability and apply it with respect and care through deep work, it can transform from a draining obligation into something truly satisfying and purposeful.
So, as Newport concludes...
A deep life is a good life, any way you look at it.
Okay, so if the why of deep work truly resonates with you, then the logical next question is, how do I actually do this? Newport offers a powerful blueprint, a set of rules for building your own personal bowling and tower of focus.
Exactly. It's not just about understanding deep work. It's about actively building the structures and habits to enable it in your daily life. These rules provide that concrete blueprint, helping you move from theory to practice.
All right, rule #1, work deeply. Newport outlines 4 philosophies for scheduling deep work, and the key is finding the one that fits you.
Not a one-size-fits-all thing.
Definitely not. There's the monastic approach, like Donald Knuth or Neil Stevenson, who essentially eliminate distraction completely. Pretty extreme.
Yeah, not for everyone.
Then there's the bimodal philosophy. You dedicate intense, long periods to deep work, then switch back to shallower stuff. Carl Jung's retreats, Adam Grant's deep semesters, that kind of stress.
Blocks of time.
Right. The rhythmic philosophy involves a daily deep work ritual, like Brian Chappell's consistent early morning study, building concentration like a chain on a calendar, just making it a habit.
The power of routine.
And finally, the journalistic approach, which is fascinating because it tackles the reality of chaotic schedules. Walter Isaacson writing that huge book, The Wise Men, while still a young journalist.
How did he manage that?
By squeezing deep work into available time whenever possible. Meeting gets canceled, find a quiet spot, and focus for that hour. It's about grabbing those opportunities.
Okay, so choose a style. What else?
Beyond the philosophy, it's about practical application. First, ritualize your deep work. Create consistent routines. Like Robert Caro, the biographer, his whole office is set up for writing. Or Charles Darwin's incredibly strict schedule.
Define where, when, how long.
Exactly. Second, make grand gestures. These are bigger efforts to signal the importance of deep work to yourself, kind of tricking yourself into intense focus.
Like J.K. Rowling checking into a fancy hotel to finish Harry Potter.
Precisely. Or Bill Gates' famous Think Weeks, completely cut off in a cabin. They're powerful commitment devices.
Okay, got it. What's next?
Third, and this is crucial for modern work, don't work alone strategically. This isn't about avoiding collaboration.
Because collaboration is important too.
Right. It's about balancing solitary depth with collaborative serendipity. Open offices, Newport argues, often destroy depth with constant interruptions. Instead, he points to the hub-and-spoke architecture.
Like Bell Labs or MIT's Building 20.
Exactly. Private offices, the spokes, connected by common areas, the hubs. You get isolation and interaction. Even when collaborating, there's the whiteboard effect. Working intensely side by side on a problem can actually push you deeper.
Interesting. Okay, what's the last part of Rule 1?
Finally, under this first rule, Newport suggests we execute like a business, borrowing from the 4DX framework, the 4 disciplines of execution.
Applying business strategy to personal focus.
Kind of, yeah. The idea is that this rigorous approach can unlock huge results for your focus. So focus on wildly important goals, WIGs, just a few ambitious outcomes for your deep work.
Don't try to do everything.
Right. Then act on lid measures. Track the time spent in deep concentration, because that's what you can control. Keep a compelling scoreboard, like a visible tally of your deep work hours. And finally, have a cadence of accountability, regular reviews, maybe weekly.
Track it, review it. It makes sense.
It really works. He talks about people doubling productivity this way.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to rule #2. Embrace boredom.
Embrace boredom. Sounds counterintuitive.
It does. But the point is, concentration isn't a natural state in our world anymore. It's a skill that needs training. Like Adam Marlin, the businessman who used daily Talmud study to sharpen his thinking.
So it's like mental weightlifting.
Exactly. It's about consistent mental practice.
And conversely, any efforts to deepen your focus will struggle if you don't simultaneously wean your mind from its dependence on constant distraction.
Hmm?
Clifford Dass's research at Stanford showed constant attention switching makes people mental wrecks. Yeah, unable to filter irrelevancy even when they try to focus. Their brains are literally rewired. So the key strategy here is kind of mind-blowing. Don't take breaks from distraction. Instead, take breaks from focus.
Okay, unpack that.
It means scheduling your internet use in advance. Commit to offline blocks outside those scheduled times. You're not avoiding the internet. You're training your brain to resist caving to boredom the moment it hits. That 30 minutes before your next scheduled internet check-in, that becomes concentration practice.
Building resistance. I like that. Another strategy is to work like Teddy Roosevelt. He packed his Harvard schedule with tons of activities.
Boxing, wrestling.
Right, but still got high grades by working with blistering intensity during his relatively short study periods. Focus intensely for short bursts. Train your brain to dive deep on command.
Instead of needing hours to warm up. Okay. What else for training focus?
Newport suggests you meditate productively. This is structured thinking during physical activity like walking or commuting, instead of letting your mind wander or loop on anxieties.
Which is easy to do.
Totally. You gently redirect your attention to a specific problem you're trying to solve. Review variables, define next steps, consolidate gains, using your downtime actively.
Like background processing for your brain. And the last one under Rule 2 is a bit weird.
Yeah, memorize a deck of cards. Daniel Keeloff, the memory champion, wasn't born with it, he trained it, and a side effect was much better concentration.
How does that work?
Using techniques like the memory palace forces unwavering attention to detail. You associate cards with items in a mental journey. It's not really about the memorization itself, it's the intense focus training it provides, strengthening those concentration muscles.
Okay, that's Rule 2. Rule #3 is bound to be controversial. Quit social media.
Yeah, that's a big one. He mentions Barrington Thurston's 25-day digital detox, how even though we know these tools fragment our time, we feel kind of powerless. Thurston himself went right back to hyperconnectivity.
It's addictive stuff.
Totally. Newport challenges the any benefit mindset, the idea that if a tool offers any possible benefit, no matter how small, we should use it.
Which ignores all the downsides, the constant distraction, the time suck.
Exactly. Instead, Newport advocates for a craftsman approach to tool selection, like that farmer, Forrest Pritchard, rigorously analyzing whether to buy a hay baler, considering long-term impact, not just convenience.
Apply that same rigor to your digital tools.
Right. Ask, does this tool's positive impact substantially outweigh the negatives for my core goals?
Which often connects to the 80-20 rule, the law of the vital few. 80% of your success probably comes from 20% of your activities.
So focus on tools that support that critical 20%.
Yeah. Think Malcolm Gladwell, Michael Lewis, George Packer, successful writers who avoid Twitter. Why? Because it doesn't help with their vital activities. Deep research and sustained writing.
Makes sense. So the most direct strategy here.
Conduct a 30-day digital detox. Stop using all optional social media for 30 days, no announcement. Then ask yourself 2 key questions.
Okay, what are they?
1, would the last 30 days have been notably better if I had been able to use this service? And 2, did people actually care that I wasn't using this service?
Ooh, tough questions.
If the answer is no to both, Newport's advice is blunt. Quit permanently. It dispels the fear of missing out and reveals how much of social media importance is just an illusion, a simulacrum.
Wow. Okay. And another part of this rule.
Don't use the internet to entertain yourself. This connects to Arnold Bennett's old idea of a day within a day. Use your non-work hours for deliberate self-improvement, not just mindless scrolling on infotainment sites like BuzzFeed.
Because those sites actually weaken your ability to resist distraction.
Exactly. Schedule your relaxation and entertainment deliberately, just like you schedule deep work. Don't just default to the easiest option.
All right, final rule. Rule #4. Drain the shallows.
This is about actively minimizing the shallow work that inevitably creeps in.
Right. It's easy to assume all work is equally valuable. But 37 Signals, the software company, proved much shallow work is dispensable with their 4-day work week and month-long deep work projects. Their bottom line was fine, but innovation soared.
We overestimate how much shallow stuff needs to get done.
Definitely. While some is necessary, and deep work has limits maybe 4 hours a day, for experts, Shallow tasks often consume way too much time.
So how do we actively drain them? First strategy. Schedule every minute of your day.
That sounds intense.
It does, but it's not about rigid adherence. It's about forcing intentionality. Most people drastically overestimate their free time. Planning every minute, including shallow tasks and breaks, makes you respect your time.
Okay, makes sense. What else?
Quantify the depth of every activity. Use that simple thought experiment. How long would it take to train a bright college grad to do this? Months. That's deep. Days or weeks. Shallow. This helps you prioritize the deep stuff.
A quick reality check for tasks. I like it.
Third, and this is bold, ask your boss for a shallow work budget.
Really? Like, I can only spend 20% of my time on shallow stuff.
Essentially, yes. Formalize it. It justifies saying no to non-essential tasks and forces a conversation about what truly adds value in your role.
Okay, fourth.
Finish your work by 5:30 or whatever fixed time works for you. Fixed schedule productivity. This creates a hard stop, a Damoclean cap.
Forces you to be ruthless.
Exactly. You have to cull shallow tasks and organize better. Rathika Nagpal, the professor, used this successfully while colleagues felt overwhelmed. It proves strict boundaries work.
Okay, final part of draining the shallows.
Become hard to reach specifically for shallow requests. 3 tips here. First, sender filters. Make it harder for people to just dump requests on you.
Like filters that screen generic emails.
Yeah, or requiring people to read an FAQ or make a promise before emailing like Clay Herbert or Antonio Centino do. Second, do more work when you send or reply to emails. Use process-centric communication.
Me.
Write comprehensive replies that answer all potential follow-up questions, provide next steps, basically close the loop in one go. More work up front, but saves tons of back and forth later.
Right, prevent those endless email chains.
Exactly. And third, the most uncomfortable one. Don't respond.
Just
Sometimes, yes. Adopt professorial ambivalence. If the email is ambiguous, uninteresting, or inconsequential, nothing good happens if you reply, nothing bad if you don't, consider not replying.
like Tim Ferriss says, let small bad things happen.
Precisely. People adjust, your time becomes your own, you make space for the big, important things.
So wrapping this all up, what does this mean for you, the listener? Embracing deep work isn't just about getting more done, right? It's about fundamentally changing the quality of professional and personal life. Newport cites Bill Gates' obsessive focus as crucial to him creating a whole new industry. He even shared his own story of doubling academic productivity while writing a book, just by pushing deep work hard. It's transformative stuff.
And if you connect this to the bigger picture, deep work isn't some new age fad. It's an ancient, profound skill. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What truly significant work could you create? What new skills could you master if you were willing to silence the noise and commit to truly going deep?
That's the challenge.
As Newport concludes, a deep life is a good life, any way you look at it. And that, ultimately, is the real reward for joining the focused few.